Most social software is built for broadcast. You post a status update for an audience, vent into a public feed, and leave a permanent record of events for others to see. But there is another path. This is a mechanic called the embrace. It's a single, daily act of directed writing. You compose a message for a specific person in your life, a parent, a partner, or a friend, but instead of sending it to them, you hand it off to a digital mascot. This design is based on the Pennebaker paradigm. Decades of research show that the physical act of structuring messy emotional experiences into written words provides measurable improvements in how we regulate our own health. This blueprint shows the architecture of that act. You are addressing a real person, but the message lives in a secure proxy. It is never delivered to the recipient, and it's never shown to an audience. This header, "Whatever you're carrying today, it belongs here," is an example of acceptance-enhanced framing. Using this language increases the depth of a user's writing while avoiding the negative emotional spikes often triggered by traditional trauma-focused journaling. The software uses the familiar motions of communication for an entirely private purpose. It isn't a tool for talking to others. It is a tool for safely exposing and processing your own internal relational tension. Instead of a blank page, your writing is aimed at a target, a blue seal mascot named Wambi, acting as a secure proxy. The mascot maintains a continuous presence through cycling state strings, creating a persistent digital holding environment for the relationship. When you move to the Compose area, there are no traditional word processing tools. You won't find options for bolding, italics, or font changes. It is a strictly unformatted text field. Looking at this text entry screen, notice the salutation at the top, "To Mom." By pre-filling this greeting, the UI anchors your words to a specific person rather than a generic void. By removing standard software customization, the interface eliminates the friction of formatting. Instead, you are left with absolutely nothing to focus on except the emotional weight of your own words. Below is an emotion dial based on Plutchik's model. Opposite feelings sit 180 degrees apart, forcing a precise choice. Next, the Energizer slider captures embodied effort. Pushing past 88% turns the color pure white, revealing that extreme investment transcends the baseline emotion. Once you finally release the slider, the message is sent. This immediately triggers a highly specific sequence of data handling. This maps the ephemeral processing loop. Text is sent to a secure function. The AI generates a character response, and your entry is immediately wiped. The AI is statusly locked, retaining no memory and providing no advice, preventing any illusion of a human therapist. For this practice to work, there can be no digital footprint. Immediate data deletion is the prerequisite for psychological safety. These mechanics are a digital application of Donald Winnicott's concept of the transitional object. In a clinical sense, the mascot is not a chatbot, it is a safe container. This bridge diagram shows the theory in action. The mascot acts as a secure bridge between your raw internal reality on the left and the external relationship on the right, allowing you to express complex feelings without the risk of judgment. This process also allows the application to capture your feelings as coordinates. By combining the semantic label from the dial with the intensity of the slider, every entry becomes a data point on a graph. This creates a longitudinal map of your emotional state. Over weeks of practice, these coordinates provide a clinical benefit. They translate subjective moods into empirical patterns you can actually track. This is why the AI's boundaries are so strict. The system is designed to provide a holding environment. Stepping outside of that boundary into advice or direction would undermine the user's own emotional processing. Effective behavioral technology doesn't need to mimic human empathy. It simply needs to build reliable structures that make expression safe. The embrace is Bailey proof that clinical psychology can be successfully encoded into a digital habit.